G'day guys, it's Johnny from Sydney Retro MTB. Just thought I'd do a video on the Mongoose VRS 3.0. So this is a clip from the last Mongoose bike check video. So I'll just briefly go over it. Got it off a local guy, got it at a good price. Originally got it just to, keep the parts. But then as I was kind of looking at it, I was like, no, I actually want to do this up, have it part of my collection. Fairly unique. And yeah, there's a lot of good parts on it. So I was happy to put the time and effort into cleaning it up. So this is just sped up a tiny bit. But as you can see, it's got some fairly high-end parts on it. Full XT, Mavic 217 Sunrise rims, Raceface Prodigy bars, FSA orbital headset, XT Max, XT hubs, IRC tyres. Yeah, it's good. Needed a bit of a clean. I didn't know what condition any of the parts are in, so this is what this video is basically about. So for the clean today, we just got to use some muck off and then some of the PD's foam degreaser on the chain and cassette. Let it work itself in, give it a clean down. So here we are, we're just in the time-lapse mode on the GoPro. I didn't do any close-up shots with the Sony camera. But yeah, this is me just, I don't know, spending half an hour stripping it down and just inspecting the parts. It's always exciting when you get, a 27-year-old bike and start stripping it and obviously see what gremlins are hidden away inside. So it took a bit of time to get a few things off, but that's all part of the fun of the retro builds. Just in this clip, the Connex headset, the star angle nut, basically had been jammed in the steerer tube, so I had to smash it out from inside the steerer tube. I finally got it out. It took a while though, but here we are. So this is just the frame. Obviously pretty dirty, all the bolts have been rusted. There's some really odd decals on it. On the other side as well, there was some foam protection for the cable guides. But need a lot of work doing to it. But again, this I was willing to put the time and effort into it. So I wanted to give it a full strip down, and I was actually going to go and get the shock service like I do with all my suspension, whether it's front or rear suspension. I use the guys in Stanmore, they're always awesome. But yeah, basically we wanted to take the linkage off, and I could only get the top half of the linkage out. I was most probably on this bottom linkage for about an hour in total, and I couldn't get it off, couldn't get the bearings off. There's a little bit of play in them, but that's all the parts. So the next bit is moving on to the cleanup. So I use CLR, calcium lime rust. I know a lot of my counterparts use Evaporust. I've never used that, but I always use CLR. I always have amazing results with it, and it's reusable as well. So yeah, PD's degreaser on the drivetrain. As you can see, some of the parts have already started to clean up. And here we have the white industry cranks. So again, with 99% of all my rebuilds, I'll try and sand stuff back, get rid of any kind of pitting, any marks, and then get the auto sol polish on and polish everything up. Grease all the bolts up, make sure all the threads are good. It's a labour of love, but definitely worth it in the end, and it stops any creaky cranks. So I started sanding back and trying to clear up the seat post as best I could, and then I found this. So that seat post has been clamped pretty tight. Onto the XT rear mech again with all my products. I'll strip them down to the bare bones as much as I can and give them a new lease of life. Give it a quick service, get rid of all the old oil and grease and hair which is stuck inside cogs. So I'm quite meticulous with this. There's a few parts all nicely cleaned up. And then I found a crack in the back end. I just didn't inspect the bike. Essentially when I bought it, it's my own fault. So that kind of scuppered the dream of rebuilding it. Cleaned the back end up a little bit anyway and all the other joints just to see if there's any more cracks. So I only found the two, but obviously it's not rideable, but I cleaned all the bolt heads up because they were rusty. And then basically I put an advert on Marketplace to see if anyone wanted the bike as a wall hanger for the man cave, or if they could actually weld and possibly weld the new the chain stay and the seat stay cracks. This is just me putting the bushings back in, so I did actually re-grease all the bushings. Now, believe it or not, this took bloody ages to actually rebuild back up. It was actually quite a hot day. I had a fan going, but I ended up getting a bit of a sweat on. Taking some pictures there for some guys who were interested in the frame. But the actual hardest part of this was actually putting the RockShox deluxe shock back on the frame, just because it's got so many little sections to the linkage on the Mongoose, so it took forever. and that was the moment I needed to get some air into that place. So yeah, this was actually the hardest bit. It was just so tricky, bolts kept dropping out. They've got like two little spaces on either side, but this linkage section here allows you to lower or higher the bottom bracket and alter the tube angle there. But yes, it was a nightmare. But these are the pictures that I put up on Marketplace to sell the frame. Obviously fully transparent about the condition it was in, but I met a lovely guy who came and bought it, and he was also a retro nut, so hopefully he can give it some life. Anyway, thanks a lot guys, see ya.